how are you still alive? Because if everybody else that speaks out and goes against the grain, why ain't nobody killed your motherfucking ass?
That man how I'm still alive.
Why ain't nobody came and found you and killed you? If that's the truth. I'm asking you, why are you still alive?
God loves me and I have great friends.
Why ain't nobody sued you yet?
Well, you can't sue someone for telling the truth.
She's already been deemed to be crazy by the industry, so that's how you know she's credible. Is she a woman on a mission? I just hadn't figured out her mission. But I don't pick up any bad vibe from her. I think she just want to tell her story. She want to be heard, and she want to shine light on the detriment, right? So I think we all on the same team.
Welcome back to another episode of the High Frequency Chaos. You guys have been loving the Jag series. So this is the fourth installment of Jaguar Wright. Are you ready to dive down some more rabbit holes with me? Grab your drink of choice and let's get diving. Salud.
I'm watching these deepfake AI photos. They're showing like Diddy drinking coffee, mugshots. I'm like, whoa. I mean, how far do you think this is gonna go to where like now you're not even sitting on this couch no more, but it's your AI picture with your voice.
That's already
saying
happening.
Yeah, it's already happening, but it hasn't been used to weaponize.
That's already happening on YouTube with me.
Oh.
There's 40 new real Jags.
Oh.
And now they're using AI to get on panels to speak for me, programming their own Jaguar in their chats. I was just watching the news the other day. It scared me when I was able to spot a deep fake. That last interview with Biden, that wasn't real. Go back and look. About 15 seconds into Sam, my son, he taught me how to spot it. He's amazing. He found all the Tasha K's deep fakes on his stuff. But you can look and you'll see the pigment. It's quick, but the pixelation and the color, the pigment and the pixelation, it changes briefly in Joe Biden's face. Our news is already AI. These newscasters ain't telling nobody that they're barely going to work because they're going in, they're getting scanned. And if there's a story that they don't want to have to consult with anyone and worry about an ethics, they just run the AI on it now.
Damn.
All right, what are your thoughts on what Jag said there? Do you believe that there are 40 other Jags and that people are using her likeness and her image to gain influence, affluence, and to change the course of things? Let me know your thoughts.
Is he protecting people or are people protecting him?
Oh no, he's selling it because he needs the cash. The last freak off tape that just got sold on the dark net, which I know because I monitor, went for $500 million. It had multiple stars in it. Nicki Minaj, Rihanna, Chris Brown, Justin Bieber, Drake. It was a really interesting night in Calabasas, and he just sold that footage.
How come you think it doesn't get leaked to the public?
The dark net?
Yeah, like...
Because of the dark coin. Most people don't even know that the dark coin exists. But that's how they're trading for all of the flesh they sell. Which is why I became so outraged last year when the twins turned 16 and he had them dressed like prostitutes and then he auctioned them off as NFTs because the NFT that he sold them to was attached to that dark fucking coin. It was like a promissory note to sell his daughters to the highest bidder.
Celebrity like that you've been around is like the most full of sin. I know no sin is greater, but like just was like, damn, this
Clive Davis. Devil incarnate. Clive Davis. He Janis Joplin. He blackmailed Betty Wright so she wouldn't tell anybody that he Janis Joplin. He killed Whitney Houston.
Who's the worst celebrity like that you've been around and is like the most full of sin? I know no sin is greater, but like just was like, damn, this
Clive Davis. Devil incarnate. Clive Davis. He Janis Joplin. He blackmailed Betty Wright so she wouldn't tell anybody that he Janis Joplin. He killed Whitney Houston.
R&B is nuts.
I have a rebuttal for you.
What? That R&B, have you heard? Yo, my assistant, her R&B is nuts.
If I can ever master singing the way you've mastered communication, I'll be somebody.
Well, see, that's why we got to get together because, iron sharpens iron, baby, and it's only going to take just for 5 minutes. That's it.
I want them to stop. I don't think you understand. Every time I hear somebody say something negative about you, there's a moment where I literally try to jump through the screen and choke the dog shit.
Yeah, and you know what? The thing is, they haven't seen, anything when everybody's just we've been through so much in the world, and everybody's just now, starting to listen to the truth and everything that you're saying and everything I've been saying, and what they've been hearing is definitely a breath of fresh air. But I would just like to, like I said, I would like to vibe with you on your work on what I'm saying?
Something right now. Do you know who Judy Garland is?
Yeah, and they gave that. Do you know what they did to that woman? They put her on drugs. They put her on drugs. They beat her up. She had to deal with the alcohol.
How the hell is her story the same as the Nickelodeon kid?
Right now.
Right now.
I mean, hey,
unacknowledged and unchecked. And I just want to say to you, you motherfucking warrior, you are the example for every child star. I've been watching you since you were a little peanut. And when you made it to That So Raven, and I don't even know if you know, I used to ghostwrite for Raven when she was recording in her late teen years.
Nobody be knowing. Nobody knows.
I was in the studio ghostwriting for her, just like I did for Mario. And I remember her talking about you. And she was psyched about you. So when I heard her sitting on the show, talking all that craziness, I'm like, that's not what you were saying about Orlando when you was a girl.
Oh,
yes,
she said Orlando put her in. Hey, she said Lando put some made her talk to a shrink, but she had already been married to some pussy.
Look, that part. I swear to God.
What did I do? We've been trying. The world been trying to get her. The world been trying to get her ass to wake up. What the fuck did I do? I didn't do shit. I couldn't have did that much.
And get her to wake up. It's a lost cause.
I mean, all I did was eat her pussy. I couldn't. That's all I did, and it was a wrap from there. And then
Whatever you did it right. You did it right. That's supposed to let you know that fruit wash shit. Whatever you want. It was translated.
Oh yeah, the oosh got smooth. The oosh got smooth off. Diggity do much. Yes.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right. So, what are your thoughts on Orlando Brown? Yo, I cannot wait to do a deep dive on this guy. I feel like he will have a lot of bombshells, and he does. And I will bring this compilation to you.
Yeah, Orlando Brown said Diddy's not going to jail. He said,
I can understand why he would say that.
yeah. Can you break that down a little bit more? Why you think he said that?
Well, considering that the is selling his own god evidence that would put him in jail against him on the dark net to the highest bidder. Why would he sell on the dark net his tapes? Wanna know why? Because he doesn't intend to stand trial. He's selling it because he needs the cash. The last freak off tape that just got sold on the dark net, which I know because I monitor, went for $500 million. It had multiple stars in it. Nicki Minaj, Rihanna, Chris Brown, Justin Bieber, Drake.
How come you think it doesn't get leaked to the public?
I love and I adore the written word. And that's another conversation we can't have regarding Aubrey because we already know that Aubrey uses ghostwriters. It's just all so unfair. It's like the super real versus the super fake. Which one do you choose? Euphoria, love it, period. And it's wild because Drake relies so heavily on his dance records and his fun. Ew, girls love to shake their titties to my songs, you know, that kind of thing. And it's great. As long as those titties are above the age of, 18. Yeah, let's listen to the next record. Yeah, I really wish we had got this done before the whole little girl thing came out. Especially considering the lengths that he went to try to put a fake story about the little girl out to get ahead of the real
Harris.
True.
Vladimir Putin himself says he's endorsing Kamala Harris. That should have frightened most of America because everybody knows he's friends with Trump in real time. Which means he wants her to win for a reason. And he plays chess, not checkers. It killed me. Donald Trump is the new Jaguar Wright. He's telling the truth about everything. And won't nobody believe him. That's America, man. Make sure you get out to the theater and support Zoe Kravitz on her directorial debut. Blink twice. Blink twice, Kamala. Just tap out. Tell Michelle to come on. Just tell Michelle to come to work. It's time for her to clock in. Everybody know you don't.
Now, that's a very interesting political clip to take a look at. What are your thoughts on this whole election? I am not going to give my opinion on what or who I am voting for, but Let me know in the comments. What do you think about what Jag is saying here?
Takeoff's death wasn't nothing but a corporate hostile takeover using his life as the god. Oh my God.
Man, R.I.P. Takeoff.
That boy died so they could cash in a month insurance policy and to cover up the fact that Rock Nation was ripping Megan away from 300. I guess nobody's paying attention to the fact that complete control of Megan Thee Stallion's career was taken over right after Takeoff died, and the Prince family were forced to leverage.
Faith Evans just responded to your comment. She's saying she heard your story about, y'all's, and she said hilarious. That's the only comment. Hilarious.
Got it.
Thing rebuttal.
I don't understand. Where's the rebuttal? What is hilarious? What I said, or the fact that she didn't have anything else to say other than hilarious? See, I find that hilarious. One word responses, I find hilarious. Because see, a one word response is you looking for someone to let you off the hook for something that you don't want to say. And at the end of the day, it is hilarious. You married Biggie when you wanted Tupac. That's hilarious. You wanted Grammys, but you settled for ghostwriting for a whore like Mary J. Blige. That's hilarious. You wanted to build real R&B divas franchise, and you settle for Stevie J and Mona Scott and Jocelyn Hernandez and The Masked Singer while he films you in your home, disrespecting you. That's hilarious. You married your child's godfather, and he wasn't never looking out for neither one of y'all. That's hilarious. Or the fact that Valletta Wallace would have rather had Little Kim, a woman that really loved her son, than you as a daughter-in-law.
There are certain things that are never going to happen in country music. Apparently Beyonce is one of them. They bought that album to #1. They bought the accolades. They bought all of that stuff, lined up the sponsorship and did all of that stuff for a project that really ain't that great. Can you be mad that the CMAs are not willing to compromise their integrity like the Grammys are? For her to come in, what's that white boy, the Jimmy boy? He's a real country music artist. Darius Rucker left Hootie and the Blowfish, tried his hand at black music over at Hidden Beach, but his real heart and soul was country music. And guess what? Darius Rucker became a country superstar, album after album after album. How many country albums are we going to get from Beyonce?
K. Michelle, who is conquering the country lane.
And I give it to her. At least she's willing to pay her dues. But see, that's the problem with people like Beyonce. They don't feel like they got to still pay their dues. They don't feel like they got to still earn anything. They feel like they can just kick a bunch of money out and get a bunch of minions to do whatever they want, and it's all just supposed to go their way. I mean, why don't nobody believe Jason Lee?
Yeah, my mom was, she used to do mean shit. Like my sister, if she wouldn't wash the dishes and left and the stink start to get stinky and the rag and then the dirty food and all of that, my mom made my sister eat that shit out the drain. And then made her wash down 4 tablespoons of castor oil behind it. Like my mom, her cruelty was some extra shit. She got off on it. So like my sister, my mom used to...
afraid to come out the closet.
You know, they mad at you for calling Meg the Stallion there, right?
He called herself the Stallion. I called her the Trojan horse.
She called herself a horse with a dick. Rocky, the franchise, the Italian stallion. A mare is a female horse. A mare. Megan the mare, that could work. Why do you need to be stallion? Why was she listed as born a man 6 years ago on the internet? I don't know. I didn't put it there.
Jesus.
Why was Tory Lanez so quickly turned off? As a matter of fact, any nigga she in this industry so quickly turned off. I don't know. Maybe they bump into some shit. No, I don't know. What was the ex-boyfriend? He did the whole diss record about her.
Partisan.
Yeah, and he was like, oh, the real you. And I'm like, which you is that?
Well, he said she got some lipo and the nose job.
Yeah, he said she got surgery. Something turned Tory off and it kept running back to Kelsey.
I'm so done. I'm getting a drink of water.
Whatever the case may be, he was cool enough to diss the both of you whack for a Jenner. And everybody know they poison.
Facts.
I lament and I cry and I grieve for Chris Brown's frustration because I know what it's like to be the fucking best and they won't let you be. I just decided I was going to find another way. I'm going to burn it all to the fucking ground. Fuck you all. None of you have the right to police God's gift. What fucking gives a man a right to think that he gets to place a monetary value on a gift from God and then enforce it with treachery and barbary? Like you fucking pimping God's gift? Most of y'all don't even fucking pay taxes to the God you serve. Fucking cheating. Shell corporation after shell corporation. Fucking mean, like cruelty-free artistry. You go to sleep next to a man who do the things he do. He like to use knives during intercourse, force, of course, because that's the only way he like it. He likes to see bodily fluids that are the red color. While he's engaged in his process, the nigga calls himself Zoo. Sir, why can't you pick an animal? Why do you have to be all of them? Pick a fucking monster. I don't know. I guess that's where Zelensky likes to play Little Roman. I have no idea. At the end of the day, how do you go to sleep next to somebody that's capable of doing those things? And you know that.
Ooh-wee.
Someone who's been on the sex offender registry list since the age of 16. 16.
And he just updated the registry. He just had to update the registry, actually.
Well, I know. We made sure of it. Salute to Jennifer Huff. I love you, doll. These are the people we defending? Like that. Hey, you hate me, baby. That was my cousin Alma that sang that.
Oh, the apple don't fall far.
Oh, you don't want to diss me.
The apple don't fall far.
You don't want to diss me. I know you. Bitch. What did it say? Did you hear what I just said? Michael Bivins fucked over Boys to Men. And when Big Mike got sick, apparently there wasn't enough money available to help them through their hard times. They didn't even promote that soul food restaurant. But maybe if they had got some real help, maybe they could have hired somebody to come in and help manage it. But no, they had to be a self-ran business because they couldn't afford to hire anyone. Like, why was there not a moment where Michael Bivins said, I really did fuck y'all over. I see this nigga struggling, and this shit that happened to him ain't even his fault. Yo, nigga, let me slide y'all $5 million for you and your family, say your house. No, he was left to go bankrupt and be forced to sell to a vulture like Jill Scott, who was also an artist and knew how bad that family was struggling and took that as an opportunity to get a very, very large-scale home in a lovely, lovely white Jewish neighborhood for cheap.
How many of you were Boys to Men fans? I definitely was. And to hear this story and to see all their dreams just come burning down, it's baffling. And they disappeared. I mean, they do shows here and there, but they were great in their prime. And I believe they're still great now, but the industry takes advantage and they eat their souls.
For me, it was all done in love for music, love for all that was there, love for the culture. I hate the fact that we did it all for a culture vulture. For someone who never truly had the capacity to appreciate that moment in time, to steal it from the masses, to hide it, to cloak it. I put it up on Philadelphia last year when we launched. You know how many people came to the network to see that show that they never got to see? You know what's great about this year? I still got the footage.
There you go. There you go.
And in 1 week, Jay-Z Unplugged, the actual whole concert, from beginning to end, will be viewed and able to be viewed on RealJag.com. Come and see the history. Come and see the power of that moment, the amazing things that we did with our bodies and our minds and our spirits. There was not one person in that room that was not elevated that night. And everyone in that room would be a liar if they said that I wasn't responsible for 75% of it.
Is it true that a sex tape dropped?
What sex tape?
I don't know. I mean, I don't.
I got a sex tape?
Is it hashtag what sex tape? When you see Eligio Bishop guilty, life in prison plus 5 without the possibility of parole.
Love it. He's a menace.
Did you expect that?
Yes. I prayed for it. Him going to jail, oh, that's great. That's wonderful. I hate the fact that these really brilliant young Black people raising their own families as they see fit are gonna have this whack who folds over like a ham sandwich when a white man put his hands on him. Cause he too. You know? Ain't never seen this porno tape?
Yeah.
With the white man?
We found that
when he folded him over like a Japanese hand sandwich, he's like, ah!
Found out quick, I'm sorry.
It's always the
Is that the way you saw that story ending? That
him jailed for life? Yes.
Not too much on Mary. Now listen, I ain't got nothing against Mary, but she's not a live singer.
I got plenty against Mary, and I got every right to.
Tell me.
Because if anybody should be having anything to say about Diddy, it should be her. Her response should not be, leave me out of it, I'm cutting ties. No, it should be, this is the nigga that put that shit.
Oh, Diddy did that.
Why don't you fucking tell niggas that Puff put that fucking scar on you?
Oh.
You such a good victim. Why don't you tell him about that baby he put in you and why you couldn't have it? Why don't you tell them the truth about how you went to the, what's his mama name, the Joyce woman? What's her name?
Janice?
Janice, yeah. Tell them how you went to the Janice fucking prostitution finishing school for. Why don't you tell them how that ugly that he
Trained you how to groom Cassie. Trained you how to groom young Miami. You said he was like a brother to you, and yet you was knocked up by him. You brothers and sisters do that. Sounds like y'all got the lines confused when it comes to intimate relations. I don't get it.
So he forced her, baby.
Why don't you ask Mary?
Travis, what's his name? What's the other one named Travis Scott? Yeah, they were fighting backstage at a concert. Like, it kind of let me know what that was probably about.
Witchcraft. Strange thing to a man's mind. Look at Andre 3000.
But these are the Jenners, though. That's Chris. That's the Jenner part of it. They
not the same. Is it Jenner, Dashian, Jen Dashian? I don't know. Whatever it is, they're all a bunch of mixed nuts, messed up in the mind. They involve everything that they're involved in turns to chaos. How does no one see that? They turn men into women. Somehow they keep getting away with allegedly, overdosing old Lamar. He barely made it out the bunny ranch alive. You go there to have a good time, not to die.
So I will definitely do a deep dive on the Kabbalah witches of Hollywood, aka Kardashians, and the many more witches out there in Hollywood. And let me know your thoughts about the Kardashians and all the men that have been in relations with them, their downfall and how they have been destroyed. Yo, these women, yes, they may have beauty on the outside, but yo, on the inside, something very, very dark.
Mary J. Blige on the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes
Did
back.
you ever see the tape with him and Evelyn?
Yeah, him and Eve. I'm sorry. Yeah, him and Eve. Evelyn. Oh, I'm sorry. It dates back to that. I'm sorry, Mary J. Blige.
Yeah.
But it dates back to her.
He fucked her too.
Oh, goddamn.
And I ain't saying allegedly. Mary.
Funny, Jag, because you mentioned, like, when you said, hey, I want to learn what the Tutsi was. I didn't know what it was, and you learned about it. And then just last week, you hear about Diddy's bodyguard arrested for drugs paraphernalia. I'm like, okay. It seems to be like everything keeps unraveling slowly but surely. And, he's like, you hear Stevie J, he's never done nothing illegal, but you hear his bodyguard getting arrested for drugs. And you only have to assume that these drugs are what, this is Diddy's bodyguard getting arrested.
Stevie J was at the house in Miami when they pulled up Bad Boy style.
Oh, yeah, he was. He said, I'm at Diddy's house.
Don't forget. He was there. They had him in twisty ties, too, like they had the kids over there in the Beverly Hills.
I forget about that.
Fuck was you doing there?
He was getting hit.
He's a fucking ghoul. Let me tell you something. If Diddy and fucking Stevie J was a movie, it would be The Vampire of Brooklyn.
Takeoff.
Was that a setup?
Of course it was. But in my opinion, from what I've gathered, it was a cover-up for an aggressive, corporate, hostile takeover. Rock Nation moving the Prince family out of power in Houston and claiming Megan Thee Stallion, who allegedly would have said anything to keep Tory Lanez from telling people that she ain't all woman.
You saying Meg Thee Stallion is a transgender?
I'm saying that a stallion is a male horse and a mare is a female horse. I'm saying, what kind of black woman would work so hard to put an innocent black man in jail for a crime he didn't commit unless she was terrified about what he may say? You were the star. Kelsey was just your attaché. Yet he seemed to be interested more in Kelsey than he was in you, and you had a big problem with that. Maybe he just liked real pussy.
What are your thoughts on Megan Thee Stallion? Do you believe that Megan was a man and now a female? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments.
When, how, where, what rooms? Just
from back in the day. I mean,
BET events. She hosted events that I was at. We were New York girls together. I was a Philly girl, but for real, I spent more time in New York than I did at home. In the height of my career, I was always in Manhattan. We were always, we were friends. I remember the last night we got to hang out. It was me, her, Belial, and El DeBarge. And she, she was the MC and she hosted us that night. And we had a great time.
Free back.
I
We
miss
will bring Free back.
her
Yeah,
out here.
We will bring her back. If AJ has a chance, Free has even more chance.
AJ got a chance because Freeze was stolen. I wish I could talk more about it. But the simple fact that she's not in broadcasting and her child is now grown, it's unfair. A female in broadcasting, a woman of color. Happiest I ever saw her was with Nokio. And I don't think anyone ever really understood why they broke up. Nokio did go to Diddy party.
And basically, Young Miami put out a tweet a while back and basically was into it with, I guess, one of Diddy's other women.
Mm-hmm.
And she basically said, if I wanted you to eat my cat, Diddy would have had you on your knees by now.
Uh-huh.
Do you think that was really like her telling on herself before she knew things were going to hit the fan?
No, I think that was her being herself because she's a dumb.
Damn.
I think she was just telling the truth because it's almost as rough as Nicki Minaj with females out here. I hear she lace front all the time. Snatching up and throwing them in her nasty ass twat. Like when I think of the title of her show, I'm like, is that what your victims be saying? Carisha, please?
Oh, man. Damn. Okay.
Please, Carisha, stop, Carisha, please.
So you're saying that Carisha is...
She's a predator no different than Nicki Minaj.
Hey.
She likes that shit. That turns her on. Wild bitch. And her in the sexy red and the Sukianas and all this the saucy Santanas. The whole lot of them. Got sadist. I know a Punisher when I see one. She's over the edge. Like you can't complain about this sitting here playing in your face when all you gotta do is tell the truth. Shut that whole shit down.
So when they list Carisha as a sex worker in the late...
She is a sex... Her and JT. What don't y'all understand?
Yeah, to be on payroll.
How many ways do I have to say it? These is wild. They pay big to do damage and procure victims. They're sex traffickers, and all of these bitches is whores. Worker. $250,000 a month to do strange shit at will. You couldn't wait for Cassie to run. You couldn't wait to be in Cassie's shoes. Carisha, please.
So why does Puffy, why does it all come to a head now? Why now? Why?
Because he's the acceptable monster at this time. Like R. Kelly was the last time I sat on this couch.
So who's next?
Y'all don't see the lineup?
Yeah, we see the lineup. I'm just waiting to see who's next.
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up. Why is everyone having such a hard time? He ain't doing shit different. He lined up V-Haven.
The first time I ever saw Jay-Z or even heard him spit a rhyme was at an MC battle, street battle in New York. He showed up as the nigga that was with Big L.
Yes.
Big L was who put Jay-Z on. And then Big L died, and then the next thing you know, Jay-Z doing songs with Biggie and building a working camaraderie with Honeycombs.
And then Biggie died, Tupac died. There was the fight between who was the top rapper now, Nas and Jay-Z. And then the next thing you know, Nas has a nervous breakdown and he's taken out of the game, and it's all Jay-Z. He will slump anyone in any relationship for $1. Look at how he did Dame. If you're a halfway intelligent person, when do you start questioning how lucky some motherfuckers keep getting?
Right. Despite everything that's going on, I'm not going to be biased, but I believe Nas was a better artist, is a better artist than Jay-Z. And I always wondered what happened to Nas. You know, I grew up listening to Nas. I remember that beef with Nas and Jay-Z, and I was working out to Nas, you know, dissing Jay-Z. And then, he disappeared for a while. Now we know why.
Should have learned with Hove. Y'all dealing with it. Y'all should have learned with Puff. Y'all should have learned with Hove. Y'all dealing with a different kind of animal here.
And his mentor was
Andre Ralph.
Tell us how
who was mentored by Clive Davis.
If you've ever pondered how Diddy ended up being so shady with all the stories swirling around about him, well, it seems we might finally have an answer to that, because Kanye West might have just dropped a bombshell on us. Word on the street is that Clive Davis, the music industry bigwig, might be the puppet master behind Diddy's villainous behavior. It's rumored that Davis schooled Diddy on the art of manipulation, how to use people, exploit them for their talents and bodies, and then toss them aside once they've served their purpose or stopped making bank. If these whispers hold any truth, then Clive Davis could be even more twisted than Diddy himself. And considering the laundry list of accusations against Diddy, that's saying something. So folks, grab your popcorn because we're about to unravel one heck of a scandal. Let's start with the long-standing conspiracy swirling around Whitney Houston's tragic passing. Kanye recently spoke about how Hollywood elites will often stage a celebrity death to make it look like they unalived themselves. And fans are now saying that this is exactly what happened to Whitney.
I am starting to question every death in Hollywood and every death in the music industry. All those deaths that happen mysteriously, or, an overdose or a car crash, Paul Walker, plane crash. So many artists lost as sacrifices for the dark music industry.
I know the real
But
him.
you have alleged that Jay-Z has
I know why he can't go home to Marcy.
See, I don't know. Okay.
Because you got the Book of Hove sitting in the Brooklyn Museum. Why ain't it in Marcy? Why can't you go home? Every great rapper that ever lived can go back to their humble beginnings and be revered as a community leader, as someone. They don't even speak on your name. And when your name is mentioned, they spit. Why can't you go home? D. Haven could go home. He could go home. Why can't you go home, Sean? Why is Childs? What makes you so special? I don't know. That movie Get Out is becoming more telling by the day. What else did you want to ask?
So, okay, I don't know the story with you and Jay-Z. What happened,
Most
Jack?
people don't.
So can we talk because where does the energy come from? Like, what are you like?
The energy comes from disappointment. The energy. He's a figure that's been in my life for quite some time. I think one of the hardest days of my life was MTV Unplugged.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had to pretend like I didn't really know him. I had to sit there in front of everybody the first man I married works for him.
To this day, still.
Yeah.
Really?
He was hired to be my husband. So no one would look at what was really happening.
Jack, what are you saying?
I'm saying Sean Carter does the same thing over and over again. Just like they hired the publicist that put Chris and Rihanna together so no one would know or look at what was happening right in front of their face. I'm telling you, he's the kind of man that hides the woman he's interested in and flaunts the kind of woman he's not. He's the kind of man that will do anything to make sure no one knows what his biological children look like, so no one questions the fraudulent children that he passes off as his own in front of America. I'm telling you, he is the king at this moment in time. The only thing that Sean Carter is king of is being the king of smoke and mirrors. Imagine a man who's so fucking dastardly and audacious that he knows that he can give your husband $5,000 to get out of bed with you in the middle of the night. So when you wake up, he's there and your husband isn't.
Wow. So you feel like he just got money, he's using his power.
No.
But ain't that what you're supposed to do?
No, I feel like he's a thief and a liar, and the only reason he's rich and powerful is because he tricked good people into believing he was something that he is not, and that's a human fucking being.
So let me ask you this, because some people would say, okay, that's a valid feeling.
See, being the sexy, cute tomboy used to be the way. And then Biggie Smalls came in with Jessica Rabbit, Lil' Kim. What I find interesting is that for the past 25 years, everybody's been trying to be Lil' Kim, and all Lil' Kim was a figment of Biggie's imagination. He figured, all men probably get off on the same shit that I do. We can make a lot of money. And now everybody wants to be this archetype. It wasn't until Lil' Kim that sex played a factor in whether or not a woman got signed. When you look at the redacted list of greatness in hip hop, people should have been acknowledged for what they were at the time they passed on the list. Honestly, everyone that passed is the list.
Big L.
The list.
Tupac.
The list. Biggie Smalls. The list. Takeoff. The list. Pop Smoke. The list. King Von. The list. Everyone that passed is the list. You can pick 20 of the last mother died in the last 20 years, and that's the best of hip hop. Gone.
Police. A young lady by the name of Sonia Macy called the police, and the first thing she says when they answer the door is like, you know, don't kill me, don't hurt me, and they're like, why would we do that? And a few minutes later,
they killed her.
She is gone, shot in the face. Boiling hot water was used as a weapon, and
against who?
Against one of the cops. He said, put the boiling pot of hot water down, or I'll shoot you in the fucking face, is what he says.
And he shot it. He did what he said.
And she said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. And then that's when he repeated it and got on the ground. And once he pulled the gun out, because after he repeated it, he pulled his gun out, shot in the face.
Sounded pretty inhuman, didn't it?
I mean, as inhuman as it gets.
Question is, was it a human?
Oof.
And when I say was it a human, are we really, the police officers that we put out into the street, are they properly vetted? Or are they just accepting anyone? What are those psych evals looking like? Because I don't think the psych evals are good enough. You can't have a scared person with a gun in the field. You can't have an egomaniac in the gun with a field in the field. You can't have someone who's bigoted or biased.
It seems like we're almost going backwards from like
no, we're not
the
going
80s,
backwards.
90s.
We are in full retrograde. The second that they took away Roe versus Wade, they're going to come after interracial marriage next. They're going to come after a lot of things. They don't like us because they not like us. They wish they were. See, you keep diluting the greatness of a people, and what you'll have is a shadow of what it was ever meant to be. All of this gay agenda has to stop. To be homosexual is one thing. To be a gay person is fine. But to use it to manipulate and brainwash society for the purpose of population control or class control, caste system domination, that's not what that shouldn't be.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be.
Isn't that just being inclusive? Like, hey, we're trying to include everybody into our agenda.
No, it's not being inclusive. What it is it's being covertly domineering.
There are so many twisted, dark agendas out there. I believe that this is one of them. All the pushes for this agenda, there's something deeply wrong. To destroy the family unit and to replace it with false realities and ideals. That will be a different podcast that I will do. But I just wanted to touch base on what Jag was saying there.
Well, did he start snitching? He better. But the only thing I'm interested in him talking about is everything he knows about Kathy Coriana White. See, I know you know what happened, Corey. Diddy. I know that. You and Jay-Z. Down in Vegas at Tao with Claudia. Why don't you just talk about Kathy? That might help. That might help a lot. Kathy Coriana White, Jay-Z's pregnant mistress, who died 24 hours after she announced that she was going public with their relationship and the baby. Why is
Now,
Does
Jack,
it an aneurysm, Diddy? Or are you the one who paid the same coroner that you... Oh, Diddy, you should talk.
do you feel the federal government will probably speak to Jay-Z in regards?
They already have.
Oh.
They talked to him before he made that Super Bowl announcement. Isn't that interesting? He was questioned by the feds before he made the Super Bowl announcement. Blink twice. Oh, this about to get fun for me.
So what are your thoughts on all the his celebrity friends that denounced those allegations and were like, this is false, and they were saying, yeah, should they speak up now? Should they speak up now?
I think it's getting a little too late for those who are complicit. For the people that have been denying it, you know what? Let's not be coy. I am Jaguar. So let's just keep it a buck. Let's keep it a beam. Stevie J should be charged. Mary J. Blige should also be charged. Jennifer Lopez. Jay-Z should be charged. Khaled should be charged. Rick Ross should be charged. Usher should be charged and tried with him. Or for Justin Bieber alone.
But who I really want to talk to is Blue Cantrell. Jay-Z worked very hard to erase you and me, just like he did Elle, just like he did his relationship with R. Kelly, just like he did his relationship with Aaliyah. She was definitely blackballed, but she was blackballed for a reason. You made a choice to work with someone, and you probably didn't realize how nefarious he was when you got involved with him. I didn't. Blue, it's time to talk. It's time for you to sing again. Because I know you still got the chops. You got the gift. Just like me. People need to know why you left. People need to know. Your fans deserve to know the truth about what sidelined you.
we finally know what happened to Blue Cantrell, the R&B sensation from the early 2000s, and allegedly it had something to do with the love triangle between her, Beyonce, and Jay-Z. Rumors have been swirling for some time that Beyonce orchestrated a plan to eliminate her competition, and Blue Cantrell might have been just one casualty in the saga. Plus, we know that Blue didn't just hold her own in the R&B scene. She also got pretty chummy with Jay-Z, especially when he was just starting to date Beyonce. But here's where it gets really creepy. One day, Blue was found wandering the streets of Santa Monica, claiming that someone poisoned her. So the million-dollar question is, did someone actually try to eliminate Blue, or did she suffer some kind of breakdown after being mistreated by the industry higher-ups? And did Beyonce and Jay-Z have a hand in all this? Let's break it down. You know how there's this ongoing chatter about Jay-Z and Beyonce possibly pulling some strings to clear their path to the top? The list of artists who allegedly fell victim to their alleged career sabotaging tactics is pretty extensive. But one name that tends to fly under the radar in these conspiracy talks is Blue Cantrell, Jay-Z's rumored ex. Back in the late 90s, Blue kicked off her career as a background vocalist for big shots like Diddy, and it wasn't long before L.A. Reid recognized her talent and offered her a contract. Fast forward to July 2001, and Blue drops her debut album, So Blue. The record not only won over the critics, but also made a splash in the commercial scene. Her album's leading track, Hit 'Em Up Style, Oops, not only snagged her 2 Grammy nominations, but also catapulted her into the spotlight. Things were looking up, and the upward trajectory continued into 2003 when she dropped her second album, Bittersweet. But here's where the plot thickens. In 2001, Blue found herself getting cozy with none other than Jay-Z, who had just started courting Beyonce. In the same period, Beyonce was busy carving out her solo career, and wouldn't you know it, in 2003, the same year Blue released Bittersweet, Beyonce's debut album, Dangerously in Love, hit the shelves. Rumor has it that this musical clash led to a heated rivalry between Beyonce and Blue, and that Beyonce wasn't just worried about Blue's rising success, but also had suspicions about her and Jay. But then came the infamous Wendy Williams interview. When asked if things ever went beyond friendship with Jay, instead of flat out denying it, Blue let out a nervous laugh and dodged the question.
Have you ever kissed Jay-Z romantically?
No. No, I can't answer that. I can't answer that.
Oh, she's touching him on the neck. Look. You see?
Why do people not want to let the Jay-Z Blue Cantrell thing go?
Wendy then floated the idea that Jay-Z might have shifted his attention to Beyonce over Blue because Blue just didn't fit the young and naive bill that Jay supposedly preferred, and Beyonce was probably more easily influenced and manipulated.
I said on the radio that I didn't think it would last, though.
What, me and him?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you're about 25.
Why, he needs somebody younger than that?
At the end of the day, yup.
Why did you say that?
Because I think at the end of the day, a younger, less savvy to the ways of the world broad.
Somebody a little bit more naive.
You said it, not me.
But the drama didn't stop there. After Beyonce and Jay-Z dropped the music video for their 2003 collaboration, Bonnie and Clyde, things took a messy turn. Blue didn't hold back and publicly claimed that the video was suspiciously similar to the promo for her song Roundup, which, by the way, hit the scenes first. But this copycat business apparently wasn't a one-time thing. In November 2002, Blue released a collab with Sean Paul titled Breathe, and just a few months down the road, Beyonce dropped Baby Boy, featuring none other than Sean Paul. And remember how on Baby Boy, Beyonce belts out the line, "Let me breathe." Coincidence? Maybe, but all these coincidences were brought up in a 2003 interview with The Guardian. Blue laid it straight, saying, "I'm an adult, she's younger, and if she's doing what you're saying, then she's being a little immature." But Blue didn't stop there. She also threw a warning Beyonce's way, saying, "Maybe she's trying to do it to get press, but I want to make her understand. If she goes there with me, it's the wrong move. She needs to understand what she's doing and what she's getting into." And when asked if she thinks Beyonce was throwing some subliminal shots at her, Blue said, "If she is being negative, she doesn't need to be, because she's a beautiful girl. But if you have issues with your man, address it with the guy, don't take it out on the girl." It seems like Blue was hinting that Beyonce might have felt a bit threatened because Jay-Z still had some lingering feelings for her. Wait till you hear what happened to Blue after she openly threatened Beyonce. Fast forward to September 2014, and Blue was found by the police wandering the streets of Santa Monica at 2 a.m., screaming about someone poisoning her with gas. According to TMZ, the episode went on long enough that that someone called police, and Blue was then taken to a nearby hospital for an evaluation. In the meantime, Blue also got dropped from her label, and since then, it's been a rough ride for her. Rejection after rejection from record labels. Back in 2013, she was optimistic, claiming to work independently on her third studio album. But fast forward to today, and that album is still MIA. So did Beyonce and Jay-Z really pull some strings behind the scenes, orchestrating Blue's sudden exit from the spotlight? Well, it's a question that quite a few industry figures are tossing around.
All right, that wraps up another one for the HFC podcast. Thank you for being here with me as we dive down these rabbit holes of the infamous Jaguar Wright. And stay tuned, we have a lot more rabbit holes to be diving down. If you have any suggestions, let me know in the comments. The links for all the creators are in the descriptions below. Give them a follow. They got some great material they're doing on their channels. As always, thank you for being with me here today as we dive into some more creepy, disturbing rabbit holes in the TikTok world. Stay safe, stay blessed in these dark, deceptive times. HFC out. Peace.